Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I am doing an in-depth look at Nerdy Post. This one is for the original Harry Potter month, which was Hogwarts, and it was our very first month. I'll be talking about some funny stories that happened, how we got into doing this, and talking about the designs themselves, as well as showing them to you. Like an unboxing, but better. Yay! Okay, so most of you will know us by this box, but if you are a subscriber from the beginning, you'll also know us from this. This was our original packaging. It was a flat package letter thing that we did all of this research on. We thought this would be a great way to do it. We'll put 2 cardboard pieces to keep anything from getting damaged. We should be fine. A couple things happened that didn't go very smoothly for us for this. One of those things was the fact that I mismeasured and ended up getting cardboard that was actually too wide. So we had to cut all the cardboard by hand. Now, we didn't have a ton of subscribers then, but it was definitely more than we were expecting. So we had a lot of cardboard to cut, and we were doing it in my living room, and my mom was there to help me. And all I really remember from that time is it feeling like a disaster and being really stressed out because we were trying to ship them out at a certain date and nothing was going right because we were trying to shove everything in there. And anyway, that wasn't even half of the disaster, because as it turned out, we had a lot of problems with shipping. A lot of people got damaged things from dings. One of the problems was that we didn't order these quite big enough, so the posters went too far to the edge. And that just meant that we were gonna, oh gosh, that changed the lighting. Went too far to the edge, and so there wasn't as much protection for the edges of the posters. But the biggest damage that we had, which was ridiculous, was that post office employees were folding these in half and putting them in mailboxes. Folding them. I mean, 2 big pieces of cardboard, clearly something you're not wanting to fold. And they were doing it anyway. So this was not an option. So we spent the next month, or basically right after we were getting all this, freaking out, trying to figure out what we were going to do instead of this, because this wasn't working. There was a point where I thought we were gonna have to just give up because it wasn't gonna work. And then we realized we could do tubes, and so we switched to tubes after that. Now that in itself is another story, but I will wait to tell that when we get to that particular month where we switched from tubes to boxes. So for now, this is the only disaster I'll cover. It was mostly a success as far as that, but it was definitely not the best way to ship these. It was nice to just have them flat as the posters, but it didn't really work. So, on to what's inside. Our very first box had a lot less stuff in it than it does now. That's because we had a lot less subscribers and we couldn't afford as many things. As we've grown, I've been able to add more products and better products, and that's been really, really fun. So as we continue to grow, I will continue to inject the savings that we're getting on our price discounts into putting more and better things in your boxes. We're not gonna try and make more money off of that. We just want to make the box better for our subscribers. So that's nice. But these first few videos are going to be a lot less things inside than some of my later boxes, which you will see if you watch all of these. It's really hot up here today, so I feel like I'm like hot pink. Hopefully I'm not, but I might be. Okay, so the very first month was Hogwarts, and we went through all of the Cratejoy learning and figuring out what we needed to do. We collected emails, we made sure that we got the correct number of emails before we even launched, so that we knew we had enough interest to do what we hoped to do. And we got a lot more interest than I was expecting, especially on the first box, because it was Harry Potter and everybody loves Harry Potter. So that was really nice. But then it came to actually designing everything. Now, the reason that I thought we could do it when we did, partly I actually jumped the gun a little bit. I said, this is something we need to do. I'm really excited about it. Let's do it now before somebody else does it. And so we got rolling pretty early, and I had already started a design that I was just doing for myself for my little Etsy shop that very few people bought from because I suck at Etsy. And that was another reason why we thought a subscription box would work better. I wanted to be able to get my art out to a lot of people and to convince my husband that we could spend the money on getting things printed. He's the money guy. I'm not. So we had to work around a lot of that. And this was a way to do that, where we could afford to buy the prints and put them in the shop. And that way we didn't have to rely so much on my terrible sales on, it's like, just, I'm not a salesperson at all. And it was me running the Instagram, so it relied on me, and that's why my Etsy failed, I'm pretty sure. So, I had a design that I had started, and I knew I was gonna use it for the poster. So that helped out a lot, because I felt like, oh, okay, I can immediately get ahead. I'll have all these designs done, and then I'll start on the next box, and I will get ahead in all of these boxes, so I'll never have to work like the month right up to it. That has not been the case even once. I work right up to the deadline every month. Like, it's currently November. I will be doing December box designs until the day we order. And that's just how it rolls. I don't know how I can get ahead. Someday I will. I believe in myself, but for now, it hasn't happened. This was done before I got a hold of my my husband's iPad Pro. I was before doing very little digital design on my Adobe Illustrator, which I love, but it takes a really long time. And we got the iPad Pro, or my husband had the iPad Pro, and he was like, I think maybe you need this. So he gave me his iPad Pro, and we got an Apple Pencil, and I have never looked back. I cannot imagine trying to do anything for this box without that thing. It is my life. It has literally everything on it. In fact, I'll show you. I carry this everywhere, and I have my Doctor Who design on the front because I love it. And in my gallery and my Procreate app, which I use all the time, is all of the posters in order from when I've done them, and all of the postcards, and then other pieces that didn't come in. But I always try to keep every project together, and so now we're up to Narnia, and that's where we are right now. And then I have some other things where I work on, work with other people. So this is my life. I'm always terrified of someone stealing it until it comes to after I've ordered everything and haven't started designing anything new, and I'm like, I can breathe and walk away from it for a little bit, which is nice. Otherwise, no, it's probably more important than my phone. So, and my phone has all my pictures of Maddie on it. Okay, anyway, so the poster design was, I had this idea for doing the Hogwarts crest. I'm gonna put this in front of my face, it's probably easier to see. And I wanted to do it completely lettered, and I wanted to do the lettering with something that I knew would have a lot. And I thought, oh, the spells. I thought that would be really, really fun to do. So I started doing all of the spells from the books or movies into this one design. And I think part of that was I had made a shirt for my sister I had painted bleach onto the shirt, and I had done a bunch of different spells, and I think that idea had kind of evolved into, let's do a crest. And so that's where this started, where this came from. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do Hogwarts, and I could focus on the school itself. And so I tried to do school and schoolwork type of things with this theme, because I knew I would do more Harry Potter themes in the future, because I knew it would do really well. So I thought a bit more specific on the themes for these than some of my other boxes, just because I don't know when I'll do the other boxes again, and then I can come up with a clever second name. But for the first ones, Hogwarts. Oh gosh. So the poster is a really nice thick quality. We fluctuate between the thicker poster and the thinner poster, mainly if we're running into a price or weight issue. The thinner posters will fix that for us. We lose about 0.3 ounces by changing to the thinner ones. The original thinner poster was a complete accident. I'm not sure how that happened, but it has come in handy for us. However, in the future, like moving forward, we have decided that we are going to stick to the thicker ones. I feel like the quality is a lot better. They feel sturdier, and I just prefer them. So that is going to happen in the future. So the next thing that I did was this little prefect badge. And we didn't have enough subscribers at this point for me to like do house badges, and so I tried to pick a neutral color that would still kind of represent Harry Potter or magic, and so I felt like purple was the way to do that. I know you can't see what I'm pointing at. I know he has purple kind of associated with him on some levels, so I felt like a purple and gold kind of theme was really good. I have some I have some pins that say prefect on them, and so I took the idea, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so this this pin I had gotten as like a, okay, there we go, that pin. I used it as how to design this as far as what the looks were. Golly, you cannot see that. Okay. The glare on this is bad. This, by the way, the glare is why I eventually changed to a matte finish on the pins, because it drives me crazy that you get glare. So so that was the badge, and I feel like people really like it. I really love it, even though it doesn't have a specific house connected to it. The next thing is the bookmark. Now the bookmark was actually the start of this whole idea. I did a bookmark for the bookish box, and we had kind of talked a few months before about the idea, it was before Christmas, hey, what if I could do a box on my own? I've been getting boxes, I really liked them, or what if I could just get in a bunch of boxes? You know, one of the two things. And I thought, there's no way I could run a subscription box. I just can't imagine all the work they have to go through, and I just don't think I could do it. I'm too ADD. And I left it there. And then Bookish Box reached out and asked me to do a bookmark, and we did some, we found a printing company that we liked. We got some samples in, we fell in love with this finish that we put on these bookmarks, and we realized, my husband realized, he started crunching some numbers, and he said, what about just doing like a flat box that had, you know, didn't have a book in it or anything, but just had the artwork. You could do bookmarks and such. And we got to talking, and as soon as we realized it was viable, I was like, let's go, let's do it. So it was thanks to the bookmarks that all of this started. So of course the bookmarks feature are some of my favorite things in these boxes. This was my Lumos and Nox bookmark. Again, spells, but I just really liked the idea of having one where it was like, lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. And I originally, so on my Bookstagram account, I used to do chalkboard stuff. And then I moved over and I started the Nerdy Post account, and I would do chalkboards from time to time. And I actually did this design on chalk originally. If you look really, really early on in my feed, you'll find it. I then took that once I had the iPad after the poster. I had the iPad by then, and I took that design, I took a picture of it, traced over it, made it my own, did what I needed to do to actually fit on this size. At first I used to hate designing these because it was really, really hard to design on like this size. It's now one of my favorite things to design for, so I think it just takes a little time. Like the t-shirts, in the early designs, I was not very good, but the last few months I felt like I have really started to understand what works on a t-shirt, and for me specifically, that I would actually wear it. I don't wear a lot of the earlier ones. I do love the board one, but I just didn't quite have it then, and I feel like I'm a lot more aware now. And it was the same thing with these bookmarks. So this one was the last design I finished, and I just finished this on vacation at the lake with my family. I was staying up super late designing this bookmark, but this side holds a special place in my heart for that, because that was the first of many, 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 many really late nights. The last two things are this color and postcard. So I had seen a lot of like Fandom of the Month Club has their little Fandom of the Month fandom-y design just card. It has their info on the back, and I really liked it for that, and it kind of gave me an idea. And Owl Crate has theirs, which are collectible and look amazing. I have two of them on like my favorite art section. So I knew it was something that I wanted to do where we had info on the back, but I also thought it would be fun to incorporate some coloring, because there's a lot of lettering aspects to this box, and make it usable in case you didn't want to keep it. It's collectible, but it's also usable. So it became the Nerdy Postcard. I thought, how funny would it be if every month it said Nerdy Postcard, but every month had the theme just a little bit differently on it. So here is the front of the original postcard. Hopefully that is focusing. And the back is an actual usable postcard. Now, around the edges, I made sure to keep all of our information on it. Hand lettered by Drop It Give Me Nerdy, colored by, and you can put your name in there. Our website, our email, our Instagram, which I just realized doesn't have a dot where it needed to be. Whoops. Please share your nerdy post photos on Instagram with the hashtag. All of our information is on here, so you can use it or you can't. Now, I will say, this is the only postcard I have colored in. I get so nervous about coloring in all of these. I have 2 copies of every single one. I have a copy that I keep blank and a copy I plan to color, but I have not actually had time, or when I did have time, the guts to actually color them in. So someday I will. So I'm not alone with all of you who don't either, because I know you don't, because you tell me all the time. So it's no big deal. You could always, there was somebody who like scanned theirs and did test colors and then decided what they wanted to do and then colored it in. That's probably what I'll end up doing, because otherwise I'll screw it up. Now, the very last thing is this notebook. Again, I did this design or something similar on notebook. It's a notepad. I did something similar to this on my video. I think it was for the actual reveal with the ribbons. I knew this was something that I wanted to do. I thought it would make it a really funny to-do list. I solemnly swear that I'm up to, and then it's a list of things that you're up to, and then at the bottom I added and no good. So that totally all together it was, I solemnly swear that I'm up to getting groceries, cleaning the house, and no good. That's how it was supposed to be. A lot of people don't see the and, which is fine, because then it works as the original quote as well. Funny thing though, these were not supposed to be this thick. So we could not afford the thickness that these were, but they showed up that way. And we panicked because they made the weight too much to send internationally. And we freaked out. We didn't know what to do. We were like, how we can't not put this in here. This is like our biggest item. So we ended up cutting down the center and making them the size that we ordered. and sending them that way, and it worked out perfectly. So if you got a thick one, you weren't actually supposed to, but you were in the US, so you did. Because we could afford to send it to you. And sorry, internationals, you kind of got a little bit screwed, but not really, because you got what we were initially gonna send you. So anyway, I actually really love that they're this thick, but we still, even to this day, probably can't afford the thickness of these. So it was an error on our printer's part, and it was a happy error. So we ended up having a lot more of these to be able to give to people afterward, or sell to people afterward in our shop. Okay, and that was it. There was a lot of things that went wrong with the first month, but and there is consistently always one thing that just kind of gets messed up in every single month. That's just part of owning a subscription box. I think, I'm sure all the rest of the boxes could say the same. So yeah, this is a little bit short because my battery's about to die. I forgot to charge my camera, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are excited about seeing more of these. This was really fun to do, just getting to show you kind of my take on the boxes. I could probably go into more in-depth things about some of the art, but those will come a little bit later, as this has been quite a long time ago, and a lot of this, no, that wasn't the last piece. Oh, I'm gonna have to do the whole thing. Okay, the last piece was this sticker right here. I can't believe I almost forgot this. This design I did in a video on my Instagram really early on, so look for it. I realized that I could do this and then write Hogwarts in it, and knew it was going to be the sticker as soon as I designed it. So when I put it up on my channel, I already knew by that time that it was going to turn into one of the designs, and I do that a lot, so keep an eye out for that. I love this, and this design has done so well, and people love it so much, and I don't blame them because I love it too. Yeah, it's great. So anyway, now that I've actually got all of the pieces, that was the box. I hope you enjoyed this kind of truncated version, because I don't have a lot of battery. I literally have, okay, no battery. So like if you like this, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you know when I post again, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.